What's up, good people? Hope all are well, grand and amazing. Thought I was gonna say blessed, huh? Hi, I'm Royal Vibes, your intuitive guide. Welcome to the channel. Glad you're here. Thanks for stopping by. This message is for the collective. I know it's pretty late in the morning. Some people are probably out and about, nestled in their bed, safe and sound. Either way, you'll catch it when you need to catch it. Please like, share, and subscribe. I'm trying to remember everything that I have to say in the beginning of the video. Oh, shout out to the 20 subscribers. Y'all are amazing. And every time I pray, you are in my heart. Every time I pray, you are definitely in my heart because you are part of what makes this channel great. And yeah, I can value that. I find value in that. Very much appreciative. So, hope you guys are doing well. I'm, of course, very, very grateful. Gratitude is my attitude, as always. Always look at it as it could be worse, and thank God it's not. Um, what else? Yeah, I think that's it. You know, very, very appreciative for life. So this message is for the collective. Spirit is basically saying, in order to heal it, you must reveal it. You gotta reveal, deal, and heal. And hiding it is not dealing with it or not healing it. Pretending it's not there is not healing it. So, it's sometimes we're given the opportunity to actually, bring forth the healing that's necessary to, you know, move towards that destiny that is basically awaiting you, awaiting us. So we're gonna jump right on into the reading. I got a few decks to pull from y'all. I'm here. I kind of like slept and did homework. I'm basically caught up. Yeah, I'm caught up with everything actually. And so they add more chapters onto what I already have. But I'm caught up with everything. I'm so grateful for that. Being able to work and still maintain these A's, baby. Still maintain these A's. I'm gonna show y'all eventually. Environment just pops out. I just popped out. New door. Number 69 and number 46. Eventually I'm about to take off my glasses because some of those cards are really, really small. But I really love the meaning of them. So I will definitely have to take off the glasses. Number 57, old habits. And number 47, universal mind. Yeah, Spirit wants you to heal. Definitely heal before trying to move forward or do take on any other responsibilities or things that Spirit is saying on anything else. He don't like Spirit doesn't want you to break. God doesn't want you to break. Basically, you know, recognize when enough is enough and it's time to make the necessary adjustments or changes. And that it starts with the identifying that healing needs to be done and figuring out what that healing what that healing is and what it entails, and actually putting forth the effort to doing it. People like calling it the shadow side. Your shadow work and your mirroring, looking at yourself in the mirror, but not looking at yourself surface wise, going deeper, right? pulling out the things that you would typically hide from others and yourself, sometimes pretending it's not there. That's why Spirit is saying it's not healing it, because what happens is, if you continue to hide a certain situation and situations because you refuse to heal from them, eventually hiding it under that rug, it eventually gets too high to cross or too wide to go around, and eventually you kind of have to deal with the situation, because what happens is, if you don't deal with it, it will deal with you, and it will arise or show its ugly face or faces, depending on your scenario. um their face or faces at the most inconvenient time, right? And then there's some explaining to do, some conviction in your heart, and all of these things. And if you would have just taken the time to see what needed to have been done and do it, and actually taking and wanting to do it, because that's where it all comes in. you know it's almost like how your mom used to tell you wash your dishes. You didn't really want to do it, you just did it because you needed to do it, and if you didn't, moms was gonna go up against your head. But you know how many of us willingly did our chores growing up, right? That's kind of like the thing, willingly cleaning up your heart. And sometimes tough love is definitely necessary for it to be done. And that doesn't mean that the Most High is not in favor of you. In fact, it shows exactly how much favor he is of you, because those who aren't his, he don't chastise. He don't give the opportunities to. Some folks have to create their own opportunities if they have the resources to. Some of us, we have no other choice but to accept, because our back be are yeah. Every instance, for me, I'll say, speaking for me, right? I can only speak for me in certain instances. When God wanted my attention, he put my back against the wall. Well, I couldn't call on nobody, no person, place, or thing. Yep. And that's what he do do his own, really, his own. He will put your back up against the wall, show you there's not much you can rely on him in. They got folks that's out there for that live like that. And through you, we're gonna gain some of those folks back. That's why Spirit, God needs you, need us to walk accordingly. And in order to walk that way, walk this way. In order to walk that way, our heart has to be clear, clean, pure, hands clean. There's a certain expectation of those who are in favor of the Most High, or who God's in favor of. Both, you know. He loves those who are after his heart. You know, wanting to be more like him, the God you know, the one he said was made in his image. Intuition. All right, I think that was it. An empath at the bottom. Yeah. And you've been feeling this whole little situation. You've been feeling this change, this move, this needing to clear out the unhealed energy that's within. And I look around so much, and I can't bring light to it enough, that the world is full of so many unhealed people, grown up people that were once unhealed children. You know, we were never given the resources or the, some it crazy enough, mental health has declined majorly within the last so many years, and it's very, very evident. But as children, I think, it's especially, I would say, coming from African American heritage and black background, um there wasn't many families that was bringing their children to people to speak to. Um we relied on the village, right? The village was most of what some single parents had, or even families that had both parents in the home. They took advantage of the village. The village helped a lot of us, and the village hurt a lot of us too, and did a lot of both for some of us. You know, so I understand why so many people are broken, and from my time, right? And the broken have been raising children that are now broken, and it's a continuous cycle. So if the what I want to say, the corporate of all the brokenness never recognize where they're broken, then they could never heal the bloodline. And yeah, that's not feasible as it comes to, walking a fine line and or walking, you know with the most high, walking in his favor. So when walking in his favor, there are provisions and uh things that come with that, and expectations, right? Like I said, heavy is the head that wears the crown. I always say that. Don't uh get mad, because that's one of the sayings that I will always say. And to whom much is given, much is required. That's why the work has to be done in order to actually walk through these new doors, coming from old environments, moving into new environments, right? Breaking old habits. I love it. Universal mind intuition. Heat just came completely over me just now. I don't know if it's because of the lighting, but like from head to toe. But before I even started the reading, crazy enough, yo, it was so, every time I'm trying to start the reading, there's so many technical issues that I'm having. So I really wanted to come on for 144, but it didn't allow me to. And then as I'm doing it the last time, like a super loud ringing in my left ear was like going ham. It was crazy. But yeah, so 69 environment. Excuse me, and it says, now is a good time to clear, clean, and declutter your environment. See what I'm saying? Moving and taking, removing the old, and moving into the new realm, the new energy. And you can only do that by healing what needs to be healed, disposing of old habits and people, places, and things, in order to grab a hold to your newness, your new life, your new door, your new self, right? It's like the phoenix rising, like you're saying that to self, that to old, and embracing the new. In order to do that, you have to remove the old, right, to make room for the new. And that's funny that 69 came out, and that's kind of like a reciprocity symbol to me too, like 69. um and get your minds out the gutter, because I ain't talking about like that. I'm talking about like, yeah, whatever. I guess because it sounds like that, but it's not that. That's not how I'm looking at it. But I guess it kind of correlates with the symbolism of it, but it's deeper than an actual sexual position, right? That's surface level stuff right there. But that's how people don't know that they be making soul ties and all kinds of stuff through sexual perversion and all kinds of other stuff. But that's gonna be on the other channel. I think that's what I'm gonna start with. That's one of the ones I'm gonna start with. I did start with a video that was predominantly pertaining to New Orleans, and ultimately, I'm sure it affects most of inner city um, places where there's a lot of crime, right? Anywho, that new door, right? In order to grasp the new door, you gotta let go of the old one. Y'all saw the cards fell out. In order to grasp the new door, you have to have free hands to do so by letting go of the old, decluttering your mind, your body, right? Your spirit. Everything is it comes to you, your emotions, right? And then when you come out of that, you're gonna see how unhealed you were and just was walking around pretending. A lot of us are walking around pretending though. Don't get mad at yourself. Don't beat yourself up about it. Just do the work, baby. Do the work. 6946, new door. Your prayers have been answered and a new door is being held open for you. Now, it's being held open for you. That's how you know you got favor on your baby. You ain't even got to touch the door. It's being held open for you. That's it. You don't even have to touch the door. Six is relevant in this. I got one, two, three sixes here. Six is relevant in this reading. It's shown its face 3 times. Yeah, somebody's holding God is opening a door for you or holding a door open for you that you don't even. He said, I'm gonna handle this right here for you. The hard work. I'm gonna handle a little bit of this hard work just to let you know how favored you are, what I see in you, and what I see for you. Yeah, you ain't gotta do too much, but do the work. And doing the work, it seems to be the hardest part for a lot of folks. You know what I mean? Because I feel like even though we were unhealed children that evolved into unhealed adults, but at some point in your life at being an adult, you would recognize, you would hope that one would recognize, where they're going wrong, you know and want to correct it at some point, not living a foolish life or lies your whole life, right? And not having to become a product of your situation or your surroundings and wanting more for yourself, right? And actually doing the work and actually healing from it, because I remember times in the village and growing up, they would tell you, be quiet, stop crying, those kind of things, and cover it up and rub some dirt on it, and it's gonna be all right. And that was all we got, and we had to move forward, not never recognizing that some children needed the help. They were displaying signs and all kinds of things and in their behaviors, and we just chalked it up to them being in single parenting and all this, that, and the other. Just and not never recognizing that there was an issue within the village. The village is good, and crazy enough, I still appreciate the village, even though I was hurt within the village, you know? And when I say that spirit has me working with you all on revealing and healing. I've been through some things. Um, I mean, I speak about it to everybody, but transparency is my thing, right? And I can't. And crazy enough, I've done a lot of healing. Not as healed as I absolute, not completely healed. And I'm honest with myself about it. And as I need and God needs you all to be honest with yourselves. But I've been hurt within the village. I was molested by a family member, right? And crazy enough, my situation was it didn't hit me. I remember the scenario. I remember who it was, but it didn't affect me. I don't know how or why. And I'm grateful to God. I don't even care why. Thank you, Lord. But it didn't affect me as much as it affected some people that I know that was molested by family members and the village. And either they're dead, was on drugs, uh, ended up selling a body in all kinds of crazy ways and doing all kinds of promiscuous things, perverted stuff. And it was because of the hand that they were dealt, but didn't choose anything. I don't know. I don't know. I can't even say that they didn't choose anything different for themselves, but sometimes life hands you cards and it's just what it is for some folks. But then there are situations where God undergirds you and he protects you still, even though that happened to you. See, there's a choice that we have. People say, how there's a God, if there's a God, how he let all these bad things happen to good people? Well, he gave me an understanding very early in life. And God forgive me if I'm wrong. I'm grateful that you gave me this information and I'm gonna share it. So he gave me an understanding that people have a choice: right, wrong, good, bad, up, down, left, right. It's a choice that we are given. Righteousness or the like thereof. So every person chooses their right or their wrong, right? Their light or their dark. Their dark. What will you have control you? And when you choose, there's a line you cross and you stand on. And there's judgment for that. It doesn't go undone. It absolutely doesn't go undone. And God let me know this. The day they call and got and hopefully this doesn't sound harsh to some, but this is my truth, right? Um years a couple years they called me and told me I would say maybe 10 or so years ago, maybe a little longer than that. They called and told me that that's how healed I am from it. I don't it but I still remember that day they called me and they told me it was shot and killed. Yep. It wasn't victory for me. However, that was the day God let everything come back to me. Everything. I literally locked myself in the bathroom. I spoke to one of my mom's sisters, my aunties, on the phone, and I told her everything. I don't even think she believed me, and I don't even care if she believed me, but it was my release. And when I opened that door from that bathroom of being locked in there, telling my story after it all came back to me. And I'm talking about I was groaning with kids after and when this happened to me, I was a little kid. I don't even think I was like 5 or 6. I wasn't. I wasn't. And yeah, grown ass man. And yeah. So for me to say, speak on the fact that one needs to heal from it. And that was a part of my healing. Crazy enough, I could have, God could have allowed that whole scenario, me allowing, that happening to me, and me possibly allowing, you know, my life to be affected because of that. You know what I mean? He didn't allow that to happen to me. He protected my mind. But at the end of it all, he allowed it to come back to me, and I was able to deal with it. And when I came out of that door, there was a absolute newness over me. I felt delivered. I felt like God said, I told you, touch not my anointed and do my babies, my children, my loves, who I favor, no harm. Don't touch a hair on their head. I don't care how old they are. And then a baby. God said, don't play with babies, old people, and animals. And here it is. So I said all that to say, when that kind of thing happened, and it could be somebody that's listening that this is affected, that was affected by the village, and haven't quite yet done the work to heal from the village, and still find appreciation in it, because I learned a lot from the village too. I did get hurt there, but I learned a lot from it. And I can find value in that wisdom I gathered there. Even as a child, wisdom don't come with age. It come with experience, right? So that's what it is. And yeah, we gotta heal. We have to heal, because majority of the things that we deal with or we find appeasing, we equate ourselves to, or you know we allow to hold on to us, right? Lord, has only been there to hinder us. And it's a new door, and breaking old habits that's gonna bring you into this amazing destiny. And it don't just stop there. I've had a story. I have a story. My story is still going, still learning wisdom, um and understanding, right? And the wisdom I gather from it, the knowledge I gather from it, I gain from it, and being able to bring forth healing for myself, and not just healing for myself, radiating that healing where others are more prone to doing the same, you know, becoming a radiating healing light after you have done the work. Some of our destinies are you know not normal, not regular, as some of us may have even thought for ourselves. Maybe you didn't even think this highly of yourself. Some of you. Well, I'm here to let you know. Maybe it's time you do so. All right. Yeah, breaking old habits, because them old habits gonna keep you um subjected to mediocre, regular. And ain't nothing regular about you. Nothing. These old habits fit other people's story, not yours. All right, number 57, and it says, an old habit may be keeping you from moving forward. That's it. Excelling, evolving, walking towards this new door. Man, when they come and told that man was killed, I almost dropped. Like I think I was walking up the street. I can't remember on the phone, and almost dropped to my knees. I had to hurry up and rush home. I had to hurry up and get there. And went in that bathroom and just I don't. It was just a breakthrough, breakdown, break out, breakthrough, and I was through. Hmm? And went on with my life because God said, "Vengeance and victory is yours, baby, through me. Let me do me." Even at that young age, again, He protected my mind, so I didn't know the significance of it. I knew I've always been different. My dreams, my cares, my wonders, like they have always been different from most people I know. Half of the time I have learned to like bottle it up and keep it to myself because folks could never fathom what's going on. You know what I mean? They could never fathom. And mom's got she had an idea of it. She had an idea of it to the point of she would have us me um and my sister, she would have us go and see a spiritualist, should I say. This lady name is Willie Mae. I'll never forget. She was in the 17 on Dante Street off of Claiborne Avenue. Lord, I remember walking into that lady house, but nonetheless, she told my mama a lot about me. It kind of like answered a lot of the questions that she had about me in the dreams that I would always like talk to my mama about. And yeah, it's been deep, but nonetheless, there's a lot that's going on, and you can't find yourself hooked and crooked with what's happening in the world. In order to gather your destiny, you have to move like somebody that's completely, I mean, that's absolutely significant in God's eyes. Like, you have to know that it is an honor to stand where you stand and even be given the opportunity to see where you are going wrong and in the confines of the most high's heart and his hands and his provisions and his light and his love. you know you get to make all of these alterations and changes and not actually feel what you can feel as you would be as one would be, as they were standing out, if they would be standing outside, or if you would be standing outside of God's will or his promises. See, it's a lot harder standing outside of it, outside of his favor, outside of his will. But when you're standing in his will, yeah, he takes a lot of the licks you almost think you getting. You ain't getting what you think you getting. Yeah. hmm Number 47. Seven is also significant here. 57 and 47. Excuse me, universal mind. And it says, you are about to receive the solution to your problem or concern. Why I be right in the middle of reading and then the burps be coming? Oh, I've heard about the spiritual burps, but dang, they so make me sound like a beer thing. And I can't stand beer. Can't stand the smell of it. Though my mama used to use that. She's like, we're gonna put some beer in here, girl. It's gonna make your curls pretty. Oh my god. I remember she used to use, this lady was, she was absolute spiritualist, kitchen, um yeah. Anywho, let me not talk about that. So yeah, universal mind. You are about to receive the solution to your problems or concern, and in order to do that, you have to have a mind that is not subservient to fear and um this unhealed you, right? You gotta get in position where God is able to blow your mind. See, he can't do it in this. You can't see because he too busy blocking what blocking what's happening and what's going on. He's too busy taking licks and stuff like that. And Quasi's kept. He is everything, everywhere, anytime, any place, whatever you need, however you need it. He is that and then some, right? But in order for you to see, and I'm not talking about see with these two eyes, I'm talking about see and understand. In order to see the signs and obey the signs, or obey the signs to see the signs, you gotta have the connection, and the connection gotta be, yeah. In order for the car to get the fullest power, the connection to the I don't know. I don't even gonna act like I know. But the battery's somewhere in there. Okay. The some gotta be hooked up to the battery, right? And that battery connection gotta be right in order for you to get that full power. If it is not getting the full power, it's not gonna turn on. Your radio, it might turn on, but the radio might not turn on, right? Or the air conditioner might not turn on. What's the sense of having a battery? Excuse me, if it's not charged up. What's the sense of having a resource if the connection ain't there? If what's this? I mean, um what's the sense of having a connection to source if the connection isn't strong, isn't there, isn't correct, isn't right, isn't flowing the way that it need to, right? All right. So intuition number 6, it says you are learning to embrace and trust your inner knowing. That's exactly what you're gonna need, because trusting these eyes, you're gonna be fooled just like the majority. I was talking to somebody on the Facebook today. I'm not even gonna speak about what I was talking about because that's for the other channel. Yeah, this political stuff is some stuff that people are not seeing, and they're not seeing because they're not realizing that this is a spiritual world we're living in. And if you're not walking in discernment and your intuition, your guidance, your true guidance, see, this is just a focus on, this is just a focus with, this is like your little binoculars, but they are not to actually believe what you see. Again, as I've always said, a magician shows you, you should not believe your eyes. Just the flick of the 3 card money guy, he show you. You should not believe your eyes. $200 down, and you still think you can beat them. Oh well, somebody's a fool, huh? You gotta come on. This is crazy. They eyes saw These eyes saw food written all over you, as your eyes saw what you thought you saw. And what you don't know is they've been running this scheme for years and literally getting away with it. And you thought you was gonna be the one that was gonna get it. Nah, they show you that you should not believe what you see. And we live in a believe what you see generation and world. And the news and the media and all kinds of platforms and this, that, and the other know that people believe what they see, and we do not do the work. They say just don't give them too much to think about. Don't give the people too much to think about. Let's give them what to think about, what to like, what to eat, what to feel, how to feel, right? What to die trying, getting, what, how to, it's crazy to me. It's insane to me. But If you are not walking in discernment in this spiritual world that we live in, oh my God, you will be bamboozled, ran completely over, played with, toyed with, they were just completely, just like toyed with. These folks are emotions are being toyed with, strained, like they have the government. These folks, I ain't gonna say the government, is because it's not all, but certain parts of they are Geppetto to a lot of these folks. And if you don't know who Geppetto is, it's from Pinocchio. Okay, he is the puppet master. He is the puppet master pulling all of y'all strings. It's crazy to me. I told y'all this was supposed to be another thing. My bad. Oh, well, forgot about it. But it's real. Sorry, my ears is itching. I might be talking too much. Mm-hmm. For certain energies, they don't like to be exposed. 3 call mining guy, he mad now. Yeah, not my people. Claim your folks. Keep your eye on them, not mine. They already taken. God already got them. We don't need you. They don't need you. Not for their destiny. Not for theirs. Though we know when such a entity come against folks like us, that's when you know you favored. Folks don't come. Certain energies don't come against nothings. The nothings and nobodies. Yeah. They're not gonna come for the nothings and nobodies. The nothingness. They're not coming for them. And folks is coming for the ones who got a destiny at hand. That's gonna change the world. Mm-hmm. Universal mind, using your intuition. Let's do it. It's a tool. Effectively use it. Look, self-sabotage. And it will behoove you, again, to do the work. Because doing anything less than that is exactly what this is, self-sabotage. Anything less than doing the work and healing, actually moving towards your greater good or your greatest good, your destiny, what God has already written for you, would be self-sabotage. And self-sabotage meaning even when he put your back up against the wall, you still running. And then after it's all like you have nothing and nobody's, it's just you literally you are being stubborn and don't want to. Yeah, I get it. I kind of been there. I think I went through one round of that. It was like, you know what? I give. Time out. Time out. I give up. I give up. Yo, you got my attention. Undivided attention. You dig? Yo, I had to, it was some seriousness. Yeah. Absolutely desperate. Like, Lord, all right. I get it. Okay. I'm trying to live your will, but on my terms and conditions. Oh, okay. That ain't gonna work. I get it. Yeah. I absolutely get it. Your girl got you. Uh-huh. And I'm gonna tell everybody how it goes. So they get it. Hopefully they get it. Stop themselves from having to deal with all the self-sabotaging. I've been there. I used to run from the stories. People used to come tell me just all kinds of stuff. Look, and they got step away. As I said, run from the stories. It says step away. Lord. I'm telling you, I used to go. And I mentioned bottled up earlier too. Why is humiliation still at the bottom of the deck? I showed y'all that a second ago. That's deep. Self sabotage. Look, step away. Step away from the old and step into the new. Huh? Door. Yeah. Lack accountability. See? Gotta do the work. Gotta do the work. You got to push. Poor investment. Red flag. That was two cards. I just cut the deck on. What that is, Sunny Bunny? Dependent. And then I say, God, put your back up against the wall to show you that you can't depend on, man, like you could depend on him. And it's been proven like a multitude of times, and that's kind of like how your back is against the wall too. Still, you know, holding on to the thought and or gesture that someone would be there, folks will be there for you like you are for them, you know. And quiet just kept God is, yeah, he put us in situations to be used. And you remember when I said good people being done bad things, and how they say there's a, well, that person have a choice. There's certain people that God allow you to meet. You may have gotten certain people may have gotten away with things that they have done all their whole life. They have a track record of leaving broken hearts and tears and all kinds of mess behind them, right? But they want to cross this one person, friend, foe, old lady, girlfriend, whatever you call her. They run across this one person, and this one person they don't even understand is who God sent for judgment. And they are what how people say that's God's karma. Yeah, that's the judgment. They come to even out the field. Yo, I'm gonna play the part just like you played, just like, yeah, we this situation gonna be the same scenario in a sense, but different, a different receiving party, right? So yeah, you have a choice. Do right by this person or do what you have always done. This person have showed you different ways that they are not like the majority. They are different, and that you should choose differently. They have given you every reason to choose differently, to choose better, right? But God already know what time of day it is. You know how he say he know your heart before you do what you do, because your heart is where he go. Your heart is where he visits the most, right? That's why he say you can lie to yourself and you can lie to man, but you can't lie to God. Yeah, that's what it is. Cause he go to your heart, baby. You can say what you want with your mouth. You can even do what you want. I told you a lot of us do things that we don't want to do, but we gotta do them. Get up and go to work in the morning. We gotta do it. To the point it's muscle memory now. We don't even need the clock to wake us up in the morning. You know, it's a real thing. Look, obligation. Told you, for some of us, it's an obligation. Back is up against the wall, and anything other than adhering, excuse me, gosh, please stop. Adhere anything other than adhering to what's happening, um, that will enhance or evolve you into the greater being that God has called you to be, is self sabotage or just sabotage. Period. You know, God wants more for you. and you have to want more for you. You have to see that, and this is an instance where you should be able to see it, especially if any of those scenarios I talked about is yours. Like, I'm not afraid to talk about my scenarios. I've had relationship with a married man before. I'm not afraid to talk about it. I'm not afraid to talk about it. And it was because that in the beginning, I'll say it was because I really honestly didn't know I was getting into something after being in a relationship with my children's father. And I was kind of vulnerable and yeah, older man, and thought, but nonetheless, I'm delivered from it. I can say that. I'm kind of mad that I was fooled, because in that time of my life I was kind of living. I was, well, not kind of living, but I would say I was learning more to rely on my discernment and understanding that that's what I was actually dealing with, feeling, right? I've always recognized I had certain feelings and thoughts and visions and sights and those kind of things, but I never knew the absolute extent to why, you know. And say if you don't learn from a situation, you'll repeat it. So that was something I had to deliver myself from, because first of all, it wasn't godly. Secondly, yeah, it hindered me. And that I've learned too that enough of taking from the world in this self that I'm in now, enough of taking from the world. God or the world will expect something back, right? So that is a part of it. You know, I used to take I fought, let me tell you some honest to God stuff. And people who know me, they know I love plants. If you can see behind me, a lot of my plants are inside my house right now because it's been really, really cold out. So yeah, what was I about to say? Is God trying to shut my mouth up about that part? No, I gotta talk about it. Let's talk about it. Because I can't have y'all be transparent, right? If I can't be transparent, I'm okay with it because I've healed, and I just like I've healed. I want you all. It's an obligation for me to show you that you can also heal. Don't beat yourself up because you dealt with a married man, or you stole plants. That's what it was. I knew God was gonna bring you back to me. Thank you. All right, so yeah, I will go into home. I will go into stores. Okay. I will go into stores and places that sold plants, right? And not just places. I would be passing by somebody's house, right? These really, really nice houses, or walking in the park, right? Where there's a plant, like they have a whole botanical garden. Like, oh, I love this. Let me get a little snippet, right? And anybody who love plants, there was a stupid, I forget what kind of plant it was, but it was this big huge plant that came up missing. This is when I had my car. Do you know how many people call me and ask me did I take the people plant? It made the news and everything. The plant made the news. That's how significant the plant was to whoever it was for. And somebody stole it. It wasn't me. Honest to God. It was not me. So, but I'm just saying, I just felt the need, oh, I love this plant. And I just thought, okay, it's a plant. I mean, they're not gonna miss a little pinch, you know? That's not my plant to be taking them people plant. Is this some No, that's not right. And so I got an understanding of why sometimes the scales were balanced the way that they were, because of my taking and not bringing back, putting back. And I grow a lot of plants. Like I'll take that little piece and I show how good my thumb is. And years ago I was not like this. My grandfather would be proud. I just want y'all to know. My mom's dad would be super, super proud to know that I can take, and my mom would be proud just to think about that. When she passed away, there was a bunch of plants that I let go, and because I didn't know anything, I didn't notice, how important they were and why she had them, and I just let them all go to sugar honey iced teas. But if I would have known then what I know now, I would still have my mother's plants. Even probably after Katrina, because I had a shed back there that would have probably protected them. Because a few of my mom's plants were still, other pots, should I say, was still back there. And yeah, it's just amazing. The growth that I had to come to and come through. And it was as a result of me actually facing my flaws, facing and not um what I want to say, pretending that they're not there and not blaming other people, holding myself accountable, right? Because a lot of that stuff I chose too, not of course, being molested by my family member. That was in the beginning of my years, things that you cannot choose. And guess what? You know what I learned? When those kind of things happen to you in the beginning of your life, and you have a turnout kind of like mine, or even when you have gone through like some of the worst of things, in a drop of a hat, just like God flooded my memory, what took it all away all my life, and then flooded my memory back with it. He could do that to those who are dealing with it, psychologically and physically and emotionally, spiritually, even, financially, just in the way that they're living. Period. You can see the effects of that happening from the beginning of their life to what's going on now. And God is so significant. He is so amazing, right? Well, he can flip the switch just like that and change everything in a matter of a breath, a breath, you know. And yeah, I have faith in it. I have not just a belief, I a knowing in that. And because of where I come from, I know that anyone that has been will be affected with that story, or you know there's deliverance from it. Don't allow it to um what I want to say, don't allow it to taint your mind and your destiny by tainting your mind, making you believe you are not worthy of what God has for you because this happened to you. In fact, this happened to you because of what God has for you. Often these things happen to us, those who are destined for greatness, because that's the enemy. If he steal your mind in the early ages of your life, kill your destiny, that meant that you are something special in God's eyes. It's an obligation to be delivered and healed and delivered from that situation. Recognize that the enemy has been trying to take you out since the beginning, since your beginning. And God said, no, no, you had a choice to do that. You had a choice to do what you did to her, right? And there ain't no coming back from that. Judgment day comes for all of us, some sooner than others. And that's how, yeah, I look at it. But nonetheless, let's keep on with the reading. I appreciate me being able. I told y'all, this helps me more than y'all believe. However, again, this is me trying to, you know, show you all that there is healing after being delivered, you know. But in order to be delivered, you have to heal it. I mean, reveal it, right? You have to be transparent. You have to let it go, put it out there, right? If you have that one significant person that you can talk to, Not everybody, because God is showing there's not many folks that we can rely on these days, especially people of our stature. They already think we Lulu, cuckoo Lulu. Why I've been saying this word cuckoo Lulu for a long time. Why is uh one of these Afro beats, and he's a guy that just came out within like the last 5 years. It's a I forget his name, but that's what he's saying his songs, cuckoo Lulu. But I've been saying cuckoo Lulu for years. That's how I describe off balance people, cuckoo Lulu. But I don't say it like that. I just say cuckoo Lulu. And I don't know where I don't know where it came from, but I know I've been saying it forever, right? And I used to talk to my African friend and was used to tell my African brother, I call him my African brother. He's from Senegal, West Africa. But his girlfriend, I used to say, "Ooh, cuckoo Lulu, cuckoo Lulu." He's talking about his girlfriend. But yeah, he ended up marrying her. Oh my god, hilarious. But anyway, don't no more self-sabotaging. Do the work, baby. You're worth it. Your destiny is worth it. If you don't have any children, your bloodline is worth it. I would hate for you to be an unhealed mother raising soon to be unhealed children, right? They mimic what they see. They're going to deal with situations just how you deal with it. For a long time when my mama passed, after she passed and I had to buy food for my house, for the house, I had to buy food for me and my sister. I was still buying the stuff my mom was buying. I never stepped out and bought Hellman's mayonnaise. Ever day of my life, all I saw was blue plates mayonnaise. So that's what I had to buy. I didn't see her buy off-brand cheese. I saw her buy Kraft. I did. I don't buy that no more because I know better. But I did that as a result of what I saw her do, the conditioning. I saw what she did. Tuna fish. I wasn't buying the other brand. I had to buy Starkist. It's just something didn't look right about the other can. I'm just saying. I had to buy bunny bread. It was just a thing. You know what I mean? So yeah, I get it. But no more self-sabotaging. Right? Look, your actions stem from fear and self-doubt. What is that? Consciously address patterns and behaviors by questioning the purpose they serve. Absolutely. As you should. And when you question those things, the purpose they serve, you actually change the momentum of how things go. They say, um, when you ask a question, when you ask the enemy a question, they have to, they don't like when they know who they are, right? They don't like you to identify them, those kind of things. I don't know where that came from, but yeah, sometimes I don't know because I think that that came out because in my head I was singing a song from like a little chant from a Freddy Krueger movie. I don't know, baby. Let me tell you, Freddy Krueger has feared me into in my sleeps for a very long time, and I have recurring dreams about him even since a child. Anyway, and still as an adult. But the song that just chant just that was in my head was evil shall see itself and it shall die. Remember when I talked about the mirror, seeing yourself, the physical self, but sometimes you have to look deeper, right? And seeing those parts of you that don't line up with what your destiny. And again, having to do away with that energy, having to do away with that self, that old self. Evil shall see itself and it shall die. When you recognize what it is, call it for what it is, identify it, reveal it, deal with it, and heal it. You know. All right, step away. It says distance will give you the needed perspective to see how this will or will not fit into your future. Absolutely. Sometimes it's good to step outside the picture to see the bigger picture. We don't understand that when we're a part of it, we can't see as clearly as the folks that are standing outside of the picture. That's why, if you have people that care about you on the outside looking in, some of them are actually telling if you are willing to accept the truth and you know bear honesty, all coming from a place of love, of course. And of course, these folks that's out here hating, that's a different story. But when there are genuine people that you know don't want to see you be the detriment of yourself and self-sabotage all your life, you know they have they it behooves them, how I said it's an obligation for them to you know tell you where you're wrong or tell you where you could do better. And some people we can't even tell that to, because nowadays folks is not accepting that from nobody, let alone nobody's. You know what I mean? They're not taking it from their own parents, uh, people that actually love them, let alone folks that don't. You know. So sometimes when God gives me the ear to listen to folks, the shoulder to cry on, it's not for me to judge. If they ask me a question, it's not for me to, it's not for me not, because I'm not gonna judge. Period. But it's not for me to sometimes speak. Sometimes I'll just if at the end they ask me a question, if God gives me something, I'll give it to him. But if um I can give them words of encouragement, a hug. Sometimes I've cried tears with the same, those folks that come and lay that story down on me. And I used to run from it. I used to tell God, like, okay, why is all these people just coming to tell me all their story? I don't want to know. I don't want to know. I don't want to know. Why? I got all my own stuff. Lord Jesus, please. What's going on? I'm running, dodging people. What happened? And the whole time, he was purposely sending these folks. It gotten to where I had opened up a store, and in that store, I didn't have a chair. I went from no chair to one chair for me to sit down in between clients and doing stuff. And then it went from having one chair to me having to have two chairs, because I would often get people to just walk in, and it was like a place of therapy, when I was actually right across the hall from a spiritualist, which is the craziest thing. And the vibe or the energy that she would give me and tell me who I was and all of this crazy, just not crazy stuff, but amazing stuff. It kind of like solidified who I knew I was. And at that point, I was like, okay, God, you got me in this window. I can't even run no more. All right. The chair's right here. I can't, if I wanted to run, I can't run. So I just went on and put a chair there. And when I put the chair there, the people started coming. And when they started coming, man, it just gave me a new perspective on, um, on life. And, you know, knowing that you can't turn away everybody. Your discernment will show you who's who and what's what if you're actually walking in discernment. But you may be entertaining an angel unawares. So be careful what you do to folks. And yeah, moral of the story, be kind. Yeah. It's about perspective. All right, bottled up. Holding things in strengthens their grip on you. Hold up now. I thought I pressed something. Holding things in strengthens their grip on you. Express and release to diminish their power and foster true healing. Yeah. And I just say, evil shall see itself and it shall die. Express and release to diminish their power. So you recognize what it is, you call it for what it is, and that releases their power. Evil shall see itself and it shall die. Call it for what it is within you. See it for what it is within. I mean, see it for what it is within you. All the mess that you have not chosen to see when you look in the mirror. Right? Every day you go in and put in your makeup, your face, your and cutting your hair, lining yourself up, making yourself presentable for the world. You know, never actually working on those inside parts. Stare in the mirror long enough, you'll see. Stare past the physical. Surely you'll see. Right? And so again, that the work absolutely has to be done. Express and release to diminish their power. Absolutely. Call it for what it is. Evil shall see itself and it shall die. That was in one of the Freddy movies. It was. I can't remember exactly which one. I think it was one with one of his kids. With that kid, Jacob. I think that's what one it is. Yep. I can remember the steps and everything. There's steps in the movie. And he was trying to get, oh my God. All right, let me just, because tonight might be the night. I rebuke it. Oh Lord, please. I rebuke it. I don't want to have to be running. In my dream. Is weird because it always start the same way, in the same way. It's weird. The dream always start the same way, in the same way, and it always end by my grandmother's house in the east, my daddy's mama. I don't know why, but that's where it always ends. Anyway, lack of accountability, blaming internal factors or other people for your problems is preventing you from actually taking the constructive actions and or will to do the healing, the work. On your road to begin resolving your dilemmas, your own dilemmas. Right? Lack of accountability. Yeah, see where you are faulty, where your system or where how you're moving um doesn't tie into what's rightfully yours. But you won't know it's rightfully again do the work. God ain't gonna give you, you know, the steps in advance, right? Your steps are ordered, of course. All our steps are ordered, of course, but he's not gonna give you things out of order. God honors order. It's timing, timing, a timing thing for him. So the work have to be done. Stepping away from the old habits, the old mindset, you know, releasing the old to establish a new thing. Hmm? Old environments, old things, old people, old places, old mindsets, old clothes. Hmm? Yeah, all of it gotta go. I'll drink to that. Hey, and this is tea. This is tea with cream. I like cream with my tea. I love Irish cream with my tea. Yeah, it's an obligation. And it says your sense of duty is trapping you. Oh, your sense of duty to what you've been, your obligation, your true obligation is to come out of this energy, step away from it again, and come into yourself, so that um yeah, you are living what you're supposed to be, how you're supposed to be, for that matter. All right, it says your sense of duty is trapping you. Reevaluate your commitments. Step away and come outside of the situation and see from a different perspective, a higher perspective in some cases. Um, let's see. Reevaluate your commitments and break free from restrictions that are hindering your growth. Absolutely. Hmm? And then we have dependence. Dependent says you rely on others and it's stopping you from claiming your power. That's crazy because a lot of this is actually talking about stopping you, and that's exactly what Spirit gave me to talk about. And it's funny enough that I actually had to open up with, being transparent about me. And so much I can let y'all know about me. And I don't mind because at this point in my life, like no one, I live in my truth, and I appreciate truth. Truth is hard, a hard pill to swallow for some, and for me in some cases. However, ultimately, I know that the truth is empowering, you know, and is what you do with that truth holds the power, the true power. Yeah. So, yeah, dependent. You rely on others and it's stopping you from claiming your power. Strength comes from self reliance, self healing. All right. Um, I'm sorry, self reliance and self healing. I added the self healing part. Let's just say self reliance, but it just sounds so much better when you say self healing because that's what we are in this place and time, this time and place. This is why we're God has proven, you know, that this will be most beneficial to our destiny, you know, if we so choose. And I won't even say if we so choose, because again, it's an obligation. You don't want to make life harder for yourself by running away from what is yours. God don't run you down, run everybody down. He don't put everybody back up against the wall. So if he's doing this to you, it's obviously an obligation. Like it is something that will enhance who you are and who you have maybe always felt yourself to be, just didn't know by what means you would get there, right? Um, and God said it's always been me. It's always been me. I saw what they did you. I saw what those folks have always been doing you. Quiet as kept. I put you in the gap, just so it could happen like that. It's not for your what I want to say, your detriment. It's not for your detriment, but it's definitely gonna be for my good in the end, and yours too. Because after I let them know on Judgment Day when they see my face and I ask them about you, yeah, I might not ask about Tom, Dick, and Harry, but you, my little baby, you. Yeah, you were precious in my eyes. And they didn't know how precious you were until now. Yeah. And on Judgment Day, they could never ask why. They will know why. They will see your face, right? I know the day that my victimizer, right, was killed, he saw my face. And God let me know he saw my face. Yeah. And that's why like literally everything, it was like the sun shined differently. I've always paid attention to the trees. It's like they They look more alive to me. I don't know, just things were different. I didn't realize again how broken and unhealed I was until the point of being healed, and how necessary it needed to be. I mean, how it was an absolute necessity. All right, so this one says, yeah, strength comes from self-reliance. You can you can and will you can and you will do it, and you have to just try. Basically, you just have to try. Strength comes from reliance. Hmm. But I'm grateful. I'm grateful because it could have been worse. I could have been out here on drugs. I could have been, out here just living all kinds of willy nilly. Like I'm grateful. I'm grateful that my mind has been kept. That is just, yeah, very grateful. Because I know a lot of people that story, it was quite similar, but it didn't fare out. You know, yeah, it's deep. My nose ring is like really getting to me, y'all. My apologies. I sprayed a perfume on one arm and one on this arm, and every time I move my hand, I just smell a mixture of both, and I just want to like scream. I hear the note. Whichever comes first. Negative manifestation. See, a new direction. They got a new door. And this was embracing happiness, unwanted energy. hmm Setting those boundaries. Yeah, because once you dispose of this energy, dispose of this negativity, dispose of this clutter, mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually. Yeah, you're gonna be careful about who, what you let in your surroundings and what they leave when they come too. Every person, place, or thing, you're gonna be very conscious and aware, because in fact, when you do that work, putting all of that out, all that energy to heal, once you do all of that work, you're not gonna want. That's why you got to do the work, and God can't take it from you. You got to do the work, because if God put it out, if God, you're not gonna appreciate the struggle of recognizing it, actually releasing it and letting it go. Right, when somebody else put the trash out, it's different. When somebody else put your trash out, is different from when you put it out. When you put it out, yeah, you parting ways with it. You letting it go. You actually sending it about its business. You know what I mean? Releasing the unwanted energy. All right, so let me take off these glasses, girl. This is just ridiculous. All right, so it says unwanted energy, and it says what seems like an opportunity may come when unseen strings with, oh my god, with unstring. I can't even say it because I want to say it so fast. What seems like an opportunity may come with unseen strings attached. Didn't I talk about your pedal earlier in the strings? Oh my job. All right, so it says also, before you commit to anything, look deeper. Told you, not just surface level. Look deeper. Um, are you stepping into alignment or unknowingly inviting energy that may overwhelm you? Right. Spirit says create those boundaries, especially as you are cleaning out the clutter and all of this and all of this and all of that, because nothing likes to remind you of your past like your past. So again, create the boundaries with every person, place, or thing, and respect them. You respect them so they can honor and respect them. You know, I am burping my butt off right now, dog. And I know I just took a sip of my drink, but that was like moments ago. That time, Lord, I felt like a heathen. I rebuke it. No, I don't. All right. Negative manifestation. hmm That unwanted energy. I don't know. Yeah, because often we are being feared into not doing the work. I gotta do this. I gotta do. You didn't put a checklist together. I gotta do that. I gotta do this. I gotta change this. I gotta do that. I've been living with this, and I don't know. You gotta change. I gotta do this. I gotta do. Gotta. And then here it is. That looked like too much work. Mm. Well, negative manifestation. You are powerful. You are a powerful force of creation in the universe. The negative words and thoughts hold as much power to manifest as your positive ones. Be mindful of where you and your focus lies. For your energy flows when attention, or where your attention goes. That's right. I often say that what you feed grows, be it a negative mind or a positive mind, right? So be mindful. That new direction, and it's funny because that one came out on Stay Away, and you also have no new direction. I'm sorry, new door at the very. It was actually the second card that came out. So new direction, and new direction says a new direction may feel unfamiliar, but this change holds the key to what your spirit has been seeking. The unknown is where miracles manifest. Here go manifestation again. All right, so embracing happiness. Lord, it smells good. All right. Sweet smells bring sweet spirits. All right. Embracing happiness, and it says this life you desire begins with a single choice, choosing joy. Lord, a single choice. And I talked about that choice earlier. I was looking this, I'm gonna say this again. This life, the life, this life you desire begins with a single choice, choosing joy. I imagine when I said earlier, when bad things happen to good people, people have a choice. Choose righteousness or the like thereof. Choose joy or the like thereof. Choose happiness and the like or the like thereof. Anything that's the like thereof is the opposite of what it is, right? And here it is. The life you desire begins with a single choice, choosing joy. That's to let you know what our choices should be. But though they will choose, though some will choose, and God know they will choose, right? But it's a choice, and everyone has a choice. That's why they say be careful. You know, choose your battles wisely. Or be careful who you choose to hurt or hinder or harm. It's crazy. It's a real thing though. Um, as you let go of the belief that happiness is beyond your reach, you awaken the truth. Nothing but the truth will help us, God. You were not born to suffer, but to experience love, beauty, and creativity. That's right. Because who wants to spend, often say, who wants to spend a lifetime in a healed position? Like always having to heal from things. You know, God said again, if you learn from the situation the first time, well, God didn't say that, but I'm just saying that is basically, it lines up with scripture too. But um, if you learn from the situation the first time, if the opportunity presents itself again, you know how to handle it. You know what I mean? It's you're not new to it. You're absolutely true to it, and a pro at it. So typically, God sends it across us again to see if we actually learn from it. You know what I mean? Because what happens is he'll allow the enemy to send, that same lesson just the way you like it, right? Smelling good, looking good, yep, just the way you like it, just to see if you learn. It'll be the same lesson, different vessel. That's all. Same experience, same lesson, just a different vessel. And you gotta recognize that. One has to recognize that. Are you truly walking in discernment? That is the lesson to see whether or not you are truly walking in your discernment. Most of us ask God for discernment, but are we really willing to accept what it is that we see, or actually do the work by walking in it? And again, accepting what we see. You know, God is not in the business for hurting us. So he's not going to give you discernment if you're not willing to accept the truth that it comes with. All right. So let's move forward. I appreciate y'all taking some time with me. It's the weekend, baby, and I have a little time, and so I'm gonna sit here for a minute, and be blessed with y'all's presence as I reciprocate that energy of love, truth, and wisdom. Mm. It's an absolute obligation once I sign my life over to the Most High, baby. That's just what it's been. That's just what it's been. And it's going to be. All right. The bottom card says Akashic Records. I swear I have these cards in a larger deck. I do. I think I do. Connect. No, maybe I don't, because they have all these other things on it too. But there you go. And there's a key in the middle of it. You're letting go is definitely a key. Oh, look at all these cards that came out. Well, that's it. All right. So, Akashic Records, and it says connect with the Akashic Records to uncover the eternal wisdom of your soul. Here lies every answer and the direction you seek. That new direction. Yeah, man. It's here. Soul Archives, Universal Memory, Blueprint Unlocking. That's right. Especially when you tap in and you do the work, love. Yeah, and when you recognize, dang, there's a lot of people in the world. There's only one me. He made only one me. Mm. That's when you know you are like absolutely, yeah, favored. And they got a whole bunch of people walking around. You caught that? A whole lotters. There's a whole bunches, whole bunch of them. Mm-hmm. The same folks, same energy, different vessels. They walk around in somewhat. I'm gonna say somewhat because momentarily they're gonna all be looking alike. They're gonna all really be looking alike. I'm talking about from the men to the women. Everybody is gonna be looking alike. They're so caught up in the facade of keeping up with the Joneses and stuff like that, to whereas they don't know how to separate themselves from what it is that you know they consume daily, or allow to consume them rather. All right. Sometimes, yeah. Yeah, y'all catch it later, I'm sure. All right, so sacred pathway. That doorway, that new direction that we talked about. Yep. A sacred pathway unfolds before you. Trust in your inner compass, that guidance. Yes, absolutely. That intuition. Mm-hmm. Trust in your inner compass and follow the divine guidance that leads to your soul's highest calling. Divine path, inner compass, and spiritual guidance are the keywords to this card. All right, so The next one is trust the universe, trust God, trust that there is something greater than you. All right. That's within you. I'm gonna say that too. Greater than you. That is also within you. All right. Trust the universe. Trust in the universe's design. Everything is unfolding at the perfect moment. Fate, surrender, divine plan. Did I tell you? When it come down to God, it's always dealing with time and the perfect time. It's always the perfect time. His time. Divine time. Embrace the change. hmm Embrace this beautiful change. Now, letting go and allowing God. But at first, you got to know that there is an issue there. Identifying the issue and being willing to, do the work. Heal, reveal, heal, and deal. Reveal, deal, and heal. All right. Embrace the change. And it says change is a sign of growth. Evolution. Absolutely. Embrace it and let it guide you to your highest dimension. Flexibility, renewal, inner transformation. All right, serenity within. Find find serenity within yourself. It is the unshakable foundation for facing life's challenges. Peace, calm, and inner stability. Yeah, imagine even in the midst of your storm, in the midst of the craziness that's going on around you in the world and everything. Imagine still being in a sense of place of peace, joy when everything is going haywire around you, and you are in God's promise and His purpose and His plan and His provisions and His protection, and everything that you see hitting everybody else can't hit you, ain't hitting you, won't hit you, because yeah, it's just how things work when you are surrendered to God's will. All right, look at that gateway of awakening, that door, that new door. Just got new doors and pathways here, mo- uh, um, um, a multitude of times. All right, gateway of awakening, a new pathway. Path is unfolding. Step into this gateway to explain your consciousness and awaken to higher truths, spiritual awareness, new horizons, conscious elevation. Uh huh. Uh huh. But just remember, new levels, new devils. But trust and believe. Each level makes you equipped to deal. So that devil better watch out. I'm just trying to say. I'm just saying. I ain't trying to say. I'm just saying. All right now. Well, I'm so grateful for my vision. So grateful for my inner sights and my outer sight and my physical sight. All right, so it says loophole. It's a lot. All right, and it says wounds unhealed become weapons wielded. Oh my God. Y'all saw the card fall out. The cards say, and this is my first time, I think this is my first time ever using these cards. There's a whole bunch of cards that I have, decks that I have, that I may have played with once or twice that are brand new to me, and this is one of them. Still brand new. All right. Wounds unhealed becomes weapons wielded. So hurt people hurt people. Unhealed people. We're talking about the wounds and the unhealed. All right. Wounds unhealed becomes weapons wielded. But cycles are not faith. There are patterns waiting to be rewritten. Didn't I just say if the situation is not learned from the first time, the opportunity will continue to present itself until you learn from it? And look at the loophole. Well, that's it. Wounds unhealed becomes weapons wielded. I'm sorry, but cycles are not fate. There are patterns waiting to be rewritten. Remember, just because it's what you know doesn't mean it's the way to grow. Starting now, claim your freedom. No permission is needed, no validation is required. Choose differently. Let this be the moment you find the loophole and end the cycle. That's right. In the cycle. Learn what you must learn to end the cycle. Because again, you know, God would allow the enemy to keep sending the same imps. Just each time he gonna get a little the guy gonna the girl or gal guy gonna get a little smoother, smelling a little better, giving you what you like, how you like it, and yeah. And before you realize it, your food. So be careful. Make sure you're using that intuition, that discernment, trusting what you feeling, right? Not what you seeing with these two eyes, right? All right, so dynamic harmony is the next one. And it says, have you been nourishing one part of yourself while starving the rest? Maybe your mind is on overdrive while your body aches for movement and care. Perhaps you chase approval and applause, as the other card was just talking about the approval. Where am I? Perhaps you chase approval and applause, but leave your spirit feeling unseen. Balance doesn't come from doing more, it comes from tending to what you have been neglecting. Oh my God. It's time to honor and nurture your wholeness. And I spoke about that. I spoke about that. I spoke about the whole neglect. I spoke about that. God don't do nothing for nothing. Thank you for using me. I'm so grateful. You know, I'm so grateful. That's crazy how close I gotta hold them cards up, and then they still look like little ants on the cards. But I love what they say on them, yo. They just so small. When I used to work at the French Quarter, I used to work with this guy. He used to love me. He used to love when I used to do that. And make the little ugly cry face. He used to love when I used to do that. He used to bust out laughing. Every time he saw my face, he would be across the room and just look at me and I do that. Excuse me. Lord. Stage seeker. Whew. All right now. Whew, I got to heat again. All right. Sage heater. I was about to say stage heater. Sage seeker. True wisdom humbles itself. Absolutely. Those who know. It softens the edges of the mind to let in challenging perspectives, knowing that insight often lives in unfamiliar places. When you dismiss other perspectives or assume you already know, you stop listening. There's no room for learning, right? The door closes to deeper wisdom, stunting your growth. Stay open. Let curiosity outshine ego and watch your understanding deepen beyond anything your intellect alone could construct. Ooh, that was powerful. Sage Seeker. maybe somebody name is Sage. You live on Sage Street. You cook with sage. Sage might be one of your favorite um herbs or something. Maybe you love burning sage. I love burning sage too. Sage exposes people, places, and things. I kind of like it, especially if I go in a place and I burn it and they say, "What's that smell?" Hey, don't worry about it. Hey, this ain't the place for you though. Hey, don't even worry about what that smell is. You just let me know who you are though. Okay. Because the ones who are who they are and know who they are. I've never found anyone who's standing in their truth or being who honest with themselves, what I want to say, which is also standing in their truth. Um they can appreciate the smell of sage. I've never seen one who's not on that level, but ones who aren't and who love I've seen people, oh, I love incense, and the minute you burn, and I get it, it's an acquired taste. Certain ones are an acquired taste, and it's levels to it, right? It's levels to the spiritual thing. And then yeah, I just know sage will expose a room. And it clear out one too. Huh? Clear out one. Yeah. It'll clear one out. What I'm talking about. All right, vessels of knowledge at the bottom of the deck. Now, let's read this. It says vessels of knowledge. Look how she is just glowing with the vessel in her hand. Oh my goodness. And as I just was talking about the vessel. My God. All right. You don't just know things. You know how to meet someone where they are and walk with them towards their understanding. You're willing to slow down and explain, guiding through presence and patience. It takes far more strength to sit with someone through their learning than to do it for them. Oh my God. This is a rare kind of wisdom. The ability to pass on knowledge without ego. You remember how I told y'all I used to my no chairs in my store. My store became one chair, and then that one chair became two chairs. God is so amazing. And that just kind of like confirmed like everything that I said, because and even at that time in my life I was noticing like how I was feeling things, and I would think things, and like less than 30 minutes later somebody comes sitting in that chair and then give me exactly what I had already talked to God about, or what came to me seconds or minutes before they walked in, or um yeah, mind blowing just mind blowing things, like just things that almost, well, I ain't gonna say almost, but absolutely solidified me in my stance, my spiritual stance, should I say. Very grateful for it. And again, God using me as a vessel of knowledge, a vessel of whatever I need to be for Him. And of course, um, just living out my destiny, just living out what's written. That's all. Yeah. Just living out my destiny, baby. No harm, no foul. Got a couple more decks to pull from. It's the weekend. I ain't got nothing to do at this point but sleep. Tomorrow I have to do my nails. Excuse my nails if y'all zero in on my nails. Excuse them. Like, why y'all zeroing in on my nails? They are horrible. I just wanted to see how long they was gonna last. This is my first time using this overlay that I have. and I wanted to see how long it was gonna last. And as of right now, it's been on my nail since January, the since since before the 1st of January, actually, because I returned to work with this on after the first. So it's lasted this whole time. I'm so stoked about it, and my nails have grown a bit longer, so I can shape them a little differently now. I'm excited. But anywho's, yeah, let's get it. Like one, two, four more decks. I said one, two, four more decks. Merci. All right, the bigger picture at the bottom of the deck. Well, that is it. Step away. Uh-huh. And see the bigger picture. The card said, can I get it? Thank you. Step away. Step outside yourself, please. And thank you. Step outside yourself. There was another one that just felt okay. Here you go. So at the bottom, it says the bigger picture. When you feel overwhelmed, and the card actually spoke about your overwhelm, you know, as anyone would, you're human, right? Especially when you are not ready to, face certain stuff and deal with certain things and get rid of certain things and, you know, moving towards a destiny that you hadn't quite picked for yourself. It picked you. Uh, you know, yeah, you get it. It's just what it is. And running from it will only do you a hindrance. All right. So, the bigger picture. When you feel overwhelmed, step back and see the bigger picture. Ask yourself, will this matter in a month or a year or 5 years? More often than not, you will find that distance reveals clarity and understanding. That's deep. Belief system reboot. Your beliefs shape your reality. This card encourages you to take a deep dive into the belief system or your belief system. Challenge outdated beliefs. Remember them old habits, and install new ones. Those old doors, old people, places, and things, and we are walking into a newness, right? So spirit is encouraging you to challenge outdated beliefs and install new ones that align with your vision of success and fulfillment, joy and happiness, freedom. Freedom. People take freedom, you know, lightly these days. Mental freeness, physical, spiritual, emotional freedom. Yeah. Financial freedom. Yeah. A plethora of ways it could be beneficial. All right. So, surface structure. And it says surface structure refers to the actual words people use, while the deeper meaning may lie beneath. Then I say, and crazy enough, the card is talking about surface level, and after I just talked about surface level, and it's time that we go deeper, even if we have to pull apart. It get ugly before it gets settled, right? Mm. Surface structure refers to the actual words people use, while the deeper meaning may lie beneath. This card reminds you that what's said isn't always what's meant. Pay attention to the language and explore what's beneath the surface. God, it's just repetitive. Y'all, and I just started talking. I just started talking in the beginning. And I know what spirit had me to talk about. I put it in the the title and everything. Everybody could see it. And so, yeah, it's not a fake or facade. God shows out. And I'm definitely appreciative. I'm not who I say I am. I'm who God says I am. All right. Because even what I thought for me wasn't good enough for him or for me for that matter. All right. Change the question. Change challenges. All this beauty. Just, yeah. All this greatness that could potentially usher you into, yeah, eyes haven't seen, ears haven't heard. That's the only way yeah, God is in a business for blowing folks' mind, blowing your mind, even your onlookers, because He can make them believers out of what He do for you by them watching you. That's all I'm saying. All right, change the question. The quality of your question shapes the quality of your life, Lord. Instead of asking, why does this always happen to me? Ask, what can I do to change this pattern? That's right. Change the question. I'm sorry, changing the question will point you towards a solution instead of the problem. Why is this always happening? Why is this always happening? Yeah, stepping outside of yourself and looking at the big picture, as I was just saying, how um I was taking from the universe, taking from the world. And look, here it is. I don't have a car no more. I every chance I wanted to, like, I go to City Park, go cut a couple plants. Huh? Go. Oh, these are so pretty when they planted these. Oh, get a little snippet. Oh, little baby. Oh, look at it. And thought it was harmless. Thought it was harmless. I was like, it's a plant. It's a plant. But didn't know how much I was hindering me by doing something that was, you know, taking what didn't belong to me, right? That's the quickest way to set an imbalance in motion. And God has got to, he gonna even out the score, you know. The universe is gonna even out the score, gonna pull that balance back to where it is. You can make an imbalance by taking, and it's gonna take from you to balance it out. And here it is. I don't even have a vehicle anymore. Now I get why I don't have a vehicle. I'm gonna get my vehicle again. But I had to understand what was going on. So I was taking and taking, just not even from stores, like I said, from the parks, or walking in front of these beautiful extravagant homes in certain areas, City Park, Esplanade Avenue. Depending on where the house was, they had beautiful plants in front. I might snip off a little. I might say, oh, let me see. Oh, if they got a camera, and looking, I'll talk to the camera and everything, the ring camera. I'm sorry, I'm just taking a little piece. And I still thought it was harmless, right? And yeah, my hands weren't as clean as I thought they were. My hands were as clean as I needed them to be. And so, because of those things happening, me doing those things, I made it easy. I made myself available to the enemy, where they were able to come in and play with me, or do, whatever they could do, because I'm protected, of course, but they were still able to offset me, because I, wasn't living right, not the way that I should have been, the way that I could have been, the way that I needed to have, right? God said, when you know better, you're supposed to do better. And I really didn't, honestly didn't know. But still, because I didn't know, don't mean there are consequences that come behind it, right? Yeah. There are consequences that come behind it. All right. Trying to make sure I don't miss a card, y'all. This one is resourceful state, and it says, in a resourceful state, You unlock your inner resources of positive emotions and strategies and are able to apply them in your life, especially the wisdom and understanding that you gather from each situation, each level, each instance. Mm, mm, mm. And how it makes you qualified for the next one and or qualified to lead and obligated to teach, right? But all of that kind of like goes down the line. And then like I said too, you know, you don't know how much of a change you create in people just by looking, you know. So don't be mad at folks when they watching, you know. Don't be mad at folks when they watching. Damn, this perfume smell good. I wish y'all can smell it. Oh my god, I don't even have this up here yet. Wait. Yum, yum, yum. Lord have mercy. All right, so resourceful state, and it says in a resourceful state, you unlock your inner resources of positive emotions and strategies and are able to apply them in your life, whether through anchoring, visualizing, and or positive self-talk. Step into your resourceful state and approach situations with calm, clarity, and confidence. So that's how I have to. And listen, if y'all have any questions throughout the reading, please feel free to answer. I mean, ask them. And if you don't mind, wait till I'm finished, and then I can bring the computer up closer to me where I'm able to actually see clearly. I'll have to put the glasses on, of course, but yeah, y'all get my drift. All right, so no, taste the victory. And on if you look at the I think my maybe the reasoning the description should I say, or maybe even the tagging, it actually says vengeance and victory is ours. And there you go. And there you go. A taste the victory, a taste of victory, the taste of victory, taste the victory. Engage your senses to make sense. I'm a little bit engage your senses to make success feel real. Imagine achieving a goal. Excuse me. Imagine achieving a goal. What does it look like, sound like, or even taste like? The more sensory detail you add, the more real it becomes. I understand that. Definitely understand that. Definitely understand that. Anything else, Spirit, in this deck? Merci. Slave programming. Yo. And this is, I'm going to read the card, but when I think of this slave programming, is in a sense of, them, the forces behind what I want to say. The forces behind all of this would much rather us be of this. Like I said, half of us are walking around, we don't know who we are. We're not even solid in who we are, right? Because we have always been taught and we believe what we see. We've always been taught what to think, feel, speak, eat, drink, because everybody want to go to brunch. I ain't never seen folks go to brunch as much as they do a day in my life. Lord, all because the people on TV was going and started going to brunch, and everybody want to go to brunch. Now we going to brunch. Folks is going to brunch with folks that they despise. They're going on girls trips with folks they can't even live a week on a yacht with, a week in a different state, a city with. And why would I be on a trip with people who don't
like me and who's sitting around baby, the TV got folks messed up. They got them messed up. I'm telling you, absolutely messed up. We don't know who we are. It's just so bad. And literally a slave mind, slave mentality, slave programming. I mentioned it earlier. Like folks, some folks need to turn off their TVs. They really do because they're being way too influenced by what it is they see. They really believe what they see is what it is. What they see is what they get. What they see is what, you know, literally word is born. And it's sad that the minds of, yeah, it's unfortunate because it hurt to sit back, like I said, sit back and watch people learn the hard way. But it gotta be done. It has to be done, especially if there's something to learn for these individuals or for these certain individuals. But if you don't see spiritually, you're not using your intuition for as guidance, again, you're gonna be fooled. You are going to be fooled. I said that earlier. You are going to be fooled. And it's an unfortunate circumstance because then here we are. We having children that are being raised by people that are fooled, that are raising. Oh, well, that's it. Let me just go. Keep on going. All right. But I told you I live in my truth, and this is nothing but the truth. So help me God. I am in representation of Him via this vessel and the spirit, most of all. Yeah, we got to come away from this, step outside of the picture and see the bigger picture. Why it's been the same scenario the last 10 15 years of your life, and you haven't learned or evolved or healed and grown from something that's wasn't meant to be like your end all be all, like your final destination you have created because the lack of wanting to heal, and some of us the lack of accountability and the lack of a whole bunch of things, right? Balance, not even realizing this whole time that's exactly what we have been seeking. But there is work to be done in order to gain said balance, work that needs to be brought forth. And that means sometimes, again, stepping away from the picture that you have always seen for yourself, stepping outside of that picture to see the bigger picture, seeing what often your loved ones have been telling you that you refuse to gaze upon. Because again, we can't see the bigger picture when we're in the midst of the story. Spirit says, break away from that slave mind. Break away from that slave programming. Because that's what's keeping you stuck. The people, places, and things, right? That's what's keeping you stuck. And those people, places, and things were never here to grow you. You were here to recognize what it was that and what it is, and move away from it. Free yourself. Free yourself. We can ask God to do it all day. But the way He do it, we ain't gonna like it. So he gives us the option. Some of us the option. When when He knows you're absolutely gonna be a detriment to yourself, He'll step in and make you very uncomfortable. He gonna shake things up. It's gonna look real ugly, real nasty, real fast before it get great. Yeah. Anywho, slave programming. Pattern. Oh my God. When I put my hand down, it just rushed up. Excuse me. Patterns of powerlessness and self-limitation have been ingrained in you through societal conditioning. Allow yourself to break free from the mental chains that keep you bound to what others expect or believe. See? Expect or believe. They say, "Oh, don't give them what to think." I mean, I'm sorry. Don't let them think too much. They don't like thinking. All right. We going to give them what to think. We're gonna give them what to believe, what to say, all the latest trends. They're gonna follow them. They love trends, of course. They love trends. We'll tell them what to like, who to like them, when to stop liking them, huh? It depends on what the news tell you, what the media tell you as to which the wind go your blow and blow your go, whatever. You know, it's unfortunate that we're not solid in ourselves and in our stance to whereas the things that people are showing us and telling us, yeah, it can't infiltrate in no way, shape, form, or fashion because we have boundaries and we know what's what and who's who, and nobody can put no wool over my eyes because I walk in discernment, right? I walk in discernment. I can't be fooled. Now, I'm not saying I'm not human and things won't slip through the cracks because I'm being I'm watching from surface level and selectively using my discernment. Yeah, you selectively use your discernment, you're gonna selectively get your answers. You selectively serve the most high of or you know, live in his will or yeah, that's exactly what you're gonna get, selectiveness. And we can't worry we can't trip about the selectiveness because God ain't tripping. He ain't tripping about your selective. So you can't be tripping about his selective. You selective when you want to be selective, so he have the choice to be selective. You know what I mean? He or she, well, whoever God is to you, let it be. Let it be. Resentment. Resentment is number 29. Tomorrow I'm gonna do a love reading for as like a bonus reading for my collective. Just to let y'all know, make sure y'all stay tuned. I'm gonna probably do like a promo or something early tomorrow just to let you know when I'm coming on. So make sure y'all stay tuned and subscribe. Number 29, resentment. Sometimes I think it's okay. I'm gonna keep it to myself. 29. I've done enough sharing. I'm just playing. It was almost like I was at a bar and y'all was like my bartender and I was telling y'all my story. You know, bartenders are actually like physicians. They know a lot of people's stories and trauma and drama and business. You know, it's crazy. Number 29, the cab drivers too. I'm just thinking about that. They're like therapists. Resentment is a quiet thief, stealing your joy and chaining you to your past. Remember, we're speaking about freedom being delivered, right? Healed and delivered. Um, what you hold on to only weighs you down. Wow, I just spoke about holding on to the holding on to things. What hold you what holds on to you only weighs you down, not the one who wronged you. Meaning it could be somebody who wronged you in a situation, but it wasn't the person per se, it was the doing, you know, that often we hold ourselves chained to. You know, there's a reason and a season. Just know that. Slave programming. All right now. Give it to me now. Give it to me now. No. Karmic ties. Lord have mercy. Number 6. Then I tell you number 6 was significant. This is the second time. The number 6 alone came out. Then there is 46 and what was the other one? 6 and 69. All right, you are entangled in a karmic dance, replaying lessons that demand resolution. Wow, that loop. That's the loop that we pointed out earlier. The loop, the loophole. That's the loophole. Spirit said it's time to get off the loophole. You ain't we about to force feed this lesson to you. You about to understand what you need to do so you can move on instead of having to keep in this loophole because it's like you've been there. It's you know you're running and you ain't going nowhere. It's time to get up out of there. You have other things to move on to, other lessons to learn. But again, not to of course be um okay with sitting in the posture of always having to heal with each sector of chapter of your life. you know. All right. Again, karmic ties number 6. You are entangled in a karmic dance, replaying lessons that demand resolution. Look deeper. This connection holds both challenge and purpose. Told you. Especially what you're standing in what? God's will. God's will reveals his purpose, his plan, his promise, the protection, the provision, all of those amazing things that is afforded you by way again of God's will. All right, so let's see. I think I want one more of these, not 15 more, but like one more. Por favor. S'il vous plaît. Merci. Jeff. All right. It says misunderstanding number 35. I'm going to make me some hot cocoa after this. I can't wait. All right. Misunderstanding. A misunderstanding may feel like a wall, but it's one that can be torn down with patience and honesty. Absolutely. Yep. Because that's exactly what we are moving into. That's what it in, you know, parts of this healing entails, right? um Patience and honesty, and I think I even named that as one of the tags for this video. All right, so listen with the intent to understand and release the need to be right. Clarity will emerge from the fog, or from this fog, right? It's gonna be greater later. It's okay to be misunderstood. In fact, if you're not being misunderstood, again, you're not working with nothing. Crazy enough, there's not many of us. There's a whole bunch of them. So it's not by chance that these folks are not understanding us. It's not by chance that we can live in the same world, turn on the same television, but receive everything differently depending on where our mindset is, even of where we are healed or unhealed, right? All of those things are a factor. Excuse me. So if you're being you're one who's often misunderstood. I see it's misunderstanding, but misunderstood also came to me. If you're one that's often being misunderstood, then it's a good thing. And again, don't beat yourself up. I'm gonna take this first one that came out here, and it says, "Oh, number 17, feeling lost, incomplete, incomplacent." I understand, especially when you are moving in new territory, unfamiliar territory. It can be uncomfortable as you are facing these challenges, what you deem as challenges, because it means it's work that got to be done. It's work that has to be done. Some of the stuff you hadn't seen in forever. You thought it was gone because you hid it. You thought it wasn't there anymore. You thought it was dealt with. because you hadn't seen it, you hadn't had the chance or had the opportunity or wanted even the opportunity to see it and or face it again. You just thought because it was out of sight, it was literally out of mind. I mean, it was in that, it was because it was out of sight, it was literally out of mind. All right, number 17. Feeling lost, and it says not knowing where you are and where you're going doesn't mean you're off track. I love when the cards repeat the words. I'll repeat the words that I used in the beginning. Definitely solidifies. All right, so again, not knowing where you are or where you're going doesn't mean you're off track. Wow, because that's what I was saying, like moving into unfamiliar territory, right? Yeah. Again, some of life's most important discoveries came when you allow yourself to wander and get lost. That's crazy because that's what after Katrina and I first moved to Georgia. I found my way by getting lost, right? I found some of the greatest of things, some of the nicest of things, and some of the things that some of the people in Georgia didn't know was available to them, and it was just crazy. I always looked at it like that. I didn't get nervous when I got lost or was in unfamiliar territory because they had phones and GPSs and all of this stuff, so I didn't have to get nervous. But ultimately, I found my way by getting lost. All right, and that's kind of like what the scenario is to finding your way, and that's a good thing. It is a good thing. But you just again have to work towards an ultimate goal, and that ultimate goal is either being pleasing the world or pleasing God. That's the choice, and that's what come with healing. That's as a result of wanting to heal. That's what you want. That's what you're in favor of. That's what you expect. Well, I just want you to know God's expecting too. You're expecting for him to show up and show out. Well, he's expecting you to do the same thing. If you want the destiny that he has written for you, there are certain things, again, certain things that have to be accomplished, within yourself, most of all, that will ultimately, like I said, change your world, change how you're seeing things, change how you're living, how you're feeling, all your senses, baby, all of them. At the bottom of this deck, it says, you will soon be surprised and grateful for how everything happened the way that it did and for you to receive better and greater. It's all adding up in your favor. Told you, God's favor, and you are God's favor. Trust the process and how things are unfolding for you. Blossom, little bloomer. Late bloomer, whomever you are. Be it late or whatever, as long as you blossom. We meeting you where you are, honey bun. All right, so this card says you can't you can't do the same thing over and over and expect a different result. Change comes from thinking thoughts you've never thought before and showing up to meet them. I'm sorry, and showing up to meet them down streets you've never walked before. That's that loop the loop. That's that loop the loop. If you think you're gonna learn something that you is absolute insanity by thinking, you know, doing the same thing is gonna get you different results. That hamster wheel. Kukululu. All right. Live your life to its fullest potential. Let go of the need for approval from others. And I think we had two cards that actually spoke about that in the beginning. Live up to your own expectations and nobody else's. No more selling yourself short. Keep moving forward. And guess what, baby? You got this. You got this. Love yourself more by saying no to the things that feel draining to you. Those boundaries we talked about earlier, and letting go of the old to embrace the new. Yeah, sometimes you're gonna end up disappointing some folks. Some folks that banked on you. Yeah, sitting in sitting where you sitting all your life, and shame on them. Right, and shame on them. Love yourself more by saying no to the things that feel draining and burdening for you. Saying no when you want to say no instead of saying yes to please other people is a real act of self-love. And you better know it. And you better know it. Look around and find some signs. That's right. Find the signs to obey the signs, huh? I said that earlier. See the signs to obey them. All right, the universe is speaking to you. Keep your eyes, these, this, and your mind. All right, clearing. Oh my God. As the first card, environment talks about this very same thing. Clearing your mental and physical clutter. You will soon feel much better. That's the healing. Healing. You got to heal. All right. Did I do this one? Oh yeah, I said that one. Okay. Wait. I did that one. Yep. Just a couple more. All right, perfect. Stop caring about what other people think. This is your life to live. Love it and live it. Live it and love it. Whichever comes first. All right. Bottom of the deck. It says, don't be afraid to say I love you to you or to thank you to, excuse me, to those who deserve it. Okay. Don't be scared of embarrassing yourself or appearing soppy. Your you will never regret a heartfelt I love you, or maybe the claws are too close to my face. I'm pulling them too close. All right. Don't be afraid to say I love you or thank you to those who deserve to hear it. Don't be scared of embarrassing yourself or appearing soppy. It says you will never regret a heartfelt felt I love you or a message of appreciation. You will only ever regret not saying it. Okay, so if I cover, maybe I shouldn't have this lamp on that's right here. That might be what the scenario is. I don't know if you see I close my eyes up, but they are really closed. I think I'm getting sleepy. What has your inner voice been asking of you? Listen and act. All right, so next deck is these babies. And we're on to our scriptures and we're good to go. Get up out of here. I appreciate you all spending a little time with me, as we won't be able to do this often for now, as my guidance counselor at school, not guidance counselor, is it called a guidance counselor? My one who's talking to me about my classes and stuff like that. That look like lint from my jacket. All right. Crossing into the light is the first card that came out. So yeah, I've been kind of occupied with that. So when I do get a hold to you all, I am gonna probably sit with you all for a minute. So anyway, and again, I appreciate you for sure. And I hope this message, you know, helped out
in some way, shape, form, or fashion. It definitely helped me. As I told you, I'm not exempt, and they always indeed help me. All right. Crossing into the light. Today I face a new bridge that must cross, that new door. And we talked about the bridge earlier. That kind of like leads to that new door, those new doors. Um, Today I face a new bridge that I must cross on my new journey to inner transformation. For my inner transformation today, like every day, I will practice the laws of universal love. Thus, I will deal with the current situation in a positive way so that I continue to grow and evolve. Absolutely, and that's exactly the mindset that one has to have in order to be successful. Um, yeah. As I cross this bridge on my own, as I cross this bridge on my way towards the light, excuse me, I am reminded of the true meaning of this life I live. Yeah, it's not by chance, it's not by chance. All right, everything changes, Paul. I tell you, it's beautiful. Change is good, depending on how you look at it. Excuse me, y'all. Everything changes. A soft light radiates. Excuse me. A soft light radiates from my heart. It illuminates those around me. I love it, and I think I talked about that in the very beginning of the reading, the very, very beginning, about the radiating. Right? It says a soft light radiates from my heart. It illuminates those around me and transforms every situation I encounter. I maintain a positive attitude, not that negative stuff that Spirit mentioned earlier that we are to be made aware of so that we can change accordingly, right? Everything changes when our mind change, when we choose to change, right? All right. It says I mm, it illuminates those around me and transforms every situation I encounter. I maintain a positive attitude in spite of any difficulties I may perceive. No matter the circumstances, I remain a source of true joy. Everything changes when it is bathed in the light of the divine. When it is touched by God, everything is changed. Hey, now. Hey, now. Right? And then a part of all of this healing is also making sure you find time to forgive thyself. Is make sure you're forgiving yourself. You know, forgiving the situation, forgiving who hurt you. Something just fucking either my eyelashes dropped in my eye, bruh. If all these spiritual things don't be happening to me when I be reading, I know I just felt a piece of hair. Maybe that's why I'll never wear lashes on my face. Cause I don't like my own eyelashes falling in my eye, let alone somebody else's. No. All right. Unity is at the very bottom, and it says, "Today I bring my attention into the present moment where I become one with my inner light." Right. And after you have discovered that inner light, right? After you have released and decluttered and removed every piece of what's been hindering you and holding you back and stopping you, from your achieving your greatness and gathering your victories, should I say. Um, as I make this conscious connection, I find myself centered in my heart and begin to glow. That radiation I talked about, and begin to glow with my own divinity. Union with my inner light provides me with a wise and stable base from which I can now live every day of my life. Isn't that a beautiful place to be? In fact, a sense of freedom, an absolute sense of freedom. And listen, overcoming is right underneath it. Excuse me. At one time we were overwhelmed, but now we are overcome. We have overcome the scenario, our situation. Today, in this great school of life, I practice self discovery by acknowledging that my fears, anger, and ego separates from me from my divinity. Then that's we talked about, which is what's stopping you. I mean, of course, in a plethora of other things, but I mean, this is the time to actually identify it again and um yeah, choosing this change, even though it's making us uncomfortable, right? Even though it's making us hot, it's getting hot and it's sweaty and you know muggy and nasty or whatever, but a lot of goodness and greatness happen amid that, you know. Don't renege on your growth and your elevation, your evolution for sake of fear, right? Doing the work, actually doing the work, looking at self, through self, to self, and doing the work. I allow the light to grow within me or inside of me. This light gives me the power to reign over my inner kingdom. Today I overcome all that separates me from the light that is my truest self. Yes. And we talked though is and it's literally inside of the title or the description. I can't remember which one in fact, but it is there, you know, alleviating or walking away from, doing away with anything that is not serving its greater purpose within you, or um yeah, that's been stopping and or hindering you. All right. Spirit says cross into the newness of your story. Embrace all that is good, my dear darling, dear darling. All right, live for love. It says, today I put love into everything I do. It is love that gives life to all things, and I open my heart to this great power. I act gently and speak with kindness. Yeah, because when you've gone through stuff, you know, um, yeah, it's not to be. I mean, it's not for us to take it out on other folks, right? Heal people. I'm sorry, hurt people. Hurt people. That's why it calls for this grandiose healing. This your scenario calls for this grandiose healing because God don't want you out here bleeding on people that don't deserve the cut. You know, um, live for love. Today, I put love into everything I do. It is love that gives life to all things, and I open my heart to this great power. I act gently and speak with kindness. I fill each thought with love and light. I love God and all beings everywhere. I live for love. I even love myself. Yeah. And again, once you've done the work, you're not gonna let no any person, place, or thing come in and bring you back to that scenario, back to that situation. You know what I mean? Because in the sense of it, once you realize, like, dang, that's how unhealed I was, right? And you can look around and say, dang, this is how unhealed I was, or this is how broken I was, right? And sometimes, again, stepping outside the scenario, stepping back from the situation to see it clearly, clearer. Um, yeah, sometimes that's what the situation calls for. You know, it's a humbling, in a sense, a humbling. Yeah. All right. So we have the next card is, all right, overcoming. Everything changes. All right, I think we're done with this deck, and we are on to our scriptures, and we're good to go. So if you have any questions, please make sure y'all leave them in the comments, or yeah, just leave them in the comments. There's a spot for you, and I think I have it where as if I don't see it as of right now, I could always go back and watch the video and look at the comments and leave a comment there, respond to the comment or what have you. So just, yeah. communicate how you must, or when you must, or when you feel like you want to. That's fine. But I am definitely here. I am here for you. Any scriptures for the This one says, everyone who calls on the name of the Lord will be saved. Romans 10:13. And this is old scripture. Anyone who calls on the name of the Lord will be saved. Yeah, they can call on the name of the Lord, but their heart gotta be with them too. That's the part. And say, yeah. I love the scriptures. Absolutely love the scriptures, but we have to be absolutely honest. And that scripture says that, but it's deeper than that, right? Everybody can call on him. Everybody, he knows, everybody knows him and knows his name. Everybody can call on him. However, how's your heart, right? How is your heart? What's your heart looking like? Because there's a clause to that. There is a clause to that. Folks don't like to talk about it, but I'm here to talk about it. Put them one. I'm here to talk about it. Pardon me. I don't do this much clearing my throat, yawning, coughing when I'm off the camera. Insane. All right. If any of you lack wisdom, let them ask for it. Who gives generous? Ask God for it. I always speak it how I know it. This is another version of the actual scripture. If any of you lack wisdom, let him ask God, who gives generously to all without reproach, and will be given him. James 1:5. Let them, if you lack wisdom, you lack whatever you lack, God said, ask for it. If it's within his will for you, he will allot you, you know. That's crazy. I done yawned like 5 times in like 20 seconds. I feel like my eyes about to start watering up. Excuse me. I won't give up on us. All right. Truly I say to you, whoever does not receive the kingdom of God like a child shall not enter it. Mark 10:15. Oh my God. I love that one because it kind of elaborate on my ways, my way of actually living. The whole pure heart, clean hands thing. Pure heart, clean hands. Who is more to have? What group of people are more to have pure hearts and clean hands? You know that genuinely, like literally, start off in that stance, and that's basically children. You know, pureness um of their hearts. Yeah. God said if your heart isn't like the heart of a child, you can't enter. I didn't say it. I didn't say it. It wasn't me. Don't shoot the messenger. Anywho, y'all, hope that helped. Sister is getting tired. Well, I don't even think it's I'm getting tired because I got energy. It's just I know when I'm speaking a certain thing that's gonna change the trajectory of someone's life, these kind of things are gonna come over. Like the enemy is at work, as I mean, of course, so is my God. You know, most of all. So yeah, God don't sleep, and apparently the enemy don't either. So yeah, it sucks, but it's what it is. And like I said, I mean, I'm kind of used to it in a sense. That's how I know. Again, I'm working with something when the enemy is trying to stop uh the plans. Oh, was distinctly look. There you go. Written for me and nobody else. I don't want nobody's story. I don't want to live nobody's life. I never was one that envied anyone's life and wanted someone else's life for mine. I've never had the breath to take someone else's life, meaning like speak someone's life as if it's mine. Mine, I'm gonna say. Anywho, y'all be blessed and amazing. Stay great. Stay warm. Stay aware. Yeah. Be healed. Be delivered, be set free from anything that is and everything and all things that is hindering you from being the best you could ever be. And yeah, that's from my heart to yours. Don't just be my loves. Until next time, check me sooner than later, man. It was a pleasure. Please like and subscribe. Shout out to the 20. Yeah. Peace. I am so out of it. Let me put these glasses on because you know I can't see. Because you know I can't see. You were trying to make me turn on some browsing or something. What the heck is that about?